Hello everyone, and welcome to Veil of Shadows. I know many of you use these videos to relax and drift off to sleep. So before you let your mind wander into the world of dreams, I'd love if you could take a moment to leave a comment letting me know where you're listening from. It's always fascinating to hear from listeners all around the world. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the channel grow and allows me to bring you more spine-chilling stories. The Vanishing Trace. This image is from the Kmart Teen 1996 fall catalog, and it actually has quite a peculiar story behind it. As far as anyone can tell, this is the only existing image of Caylee Houston, who vanished without a trace in the summer of that year, shortly after moving with her family to the city of Glendale, California, just outside of Los Angeles. The Houston family had moved from Shawndale, Arizona, to California in May, to a house on Wesker Street. The house, a classic craftsman, was the oldest in the entire neighborhood, originally part of a housing development in 1933. It was smaller than the grand 5-bedroom McMansion they had owned in Shawndale, but far more beautiful. The entire Houston family had been excited for the move. Caylee, 19, was the oldest of 3 sisters. In Shawndale, she had always been the focus of much praise for her good looks, with many people encouraging her to pursue a life in front of cameras, as a model, an actress, or a newscaster. But Caylee, an introverted and nervous girl by nature, had always been camera shy, and up until her senior year of high school, resistant to the attention foisted upon her. Caylee was homeschooled and spent the majority of her time alone. This had all changed when Caylee, encouraged by her sisters and her mother, auditioned for the local high school's winter play. Though she was not technically a student of Fairview Valley High, Caylee won the role of Hermia in A Midsummer Night's Dream and was allowed to participate in the play. The experience was transformative for Caylee, who found that she loved to be on stage. She began to ask her parents every day to move to Los Angeles so she could pursue a career as an actress. Though it seemed an unlikely dream, Caylee's change of attitude came at the perfect time for the family. Her father, Jay Houston, was recently retired. Her mother, Diana, was between jobs, and her 2 young sisters were both in the process of switching schools. Their family dog, Pepper, had recently been put down after being attacked by a coyote or some other predator in the woods. Caylee had been the one to find Pepper, injured and crusty with dried blood and drool, her collar missing. Her throat had been pulled apart and one of her eyes torn out. Caylee had cried all the way to the vet, and the experience had rattled the Houstons badly. Caylee's new ambitions towards California were a welcome change of pace, one that would guide the family to a new beginning, and the decision was made to go west. The move itself had been frustrating. Several boxes had been lost, and Jay Houston had begun his first morning in California in a 2-hour-long phone argument with the moving company, switching lines to yell at men from the insurance company, and then back again to accuse the movers of everything from incompetence to outright criminal theft. The women of the Houston family had brightened their day by unpacking and exploring the new house. It had come unfurnished, other than a single landline telephone in a hallway downstairs between the kitchen and the living room. It was, in fact, on this phone that first evening that a single call had come through. Caylee had answered it on instinct, though the Houston family's phone service had yet to be set up. The call had been short, and when she hung up, Kaylee said it had been a wrong number or some kind of prank. Kaylee said that the connection had been bad and choppy, and that she had only understood part of what the caller was saying. Though Kaylee attempted to move on from the conversation, the call had clearly upset her, and her mother pressed for more information. Kaylee said that the only thing she'd heard was a very soft, very quiet voice. Possibly a man, but gentle and near a whisper, repeating a phrase again and again. When Kaylee's mother later spoke to the police, she couldn't remember the phrase word for word, but said it had been something like, "I'm reaching for you. I'm reaching for you with my little fingers." In the following weeks, the Houston girls had registered for the local school districts, and Kaylee had gone out to meet with several commercial modeling agencies her mother had found in the Yellow Pages. Most of them were the kind of one-stop shops common in Los Angeles at the time. Photography studios with an agency or management arm attached, working directly with brands and catalogs. Kaylee did a single shoot with an agency called Tori Michelle Model Factory. Kaylee was thrilled by the shoot and felt emboldened, making fast friends with several other young models in the waiting room, making plans to visit a local mall, the Glendale Galleria, that evening. Diana Houston, excited to see her daughter's newfound outgoing attitude in action, allowed her daughter to go out unchaperoned. But ultimately, Kaylee's anxiety got the better of her, and she stayed in, playing board games with her family. It was at 3 a.m. that evening that the family was awoken by the sound of a dog barking from outside. When Jay Houston went outside to check, he found a small red collar, torn apart and stained with blood, left on the front porch under one of the lawn chairs. This sparked a debate within the family. Kaylee's two sisters, both young, speculated that it could have been a coincidence. But Kaylee herself was certain that this was Pepper's collar, the same collar that had been missing when she'd found Pepper staggering, torn apart, onto the front lawn several months ago. A month passed, and the appearance of the collar was mostly forgotten. On the morning of June 25th, Jay Houston contacted the Glendale Police Department to report that his wallet had been stolen. That evening, while walking home from a long-awaited hangout with her new Los Angeles friends, Kaylee Houston disappeared and was never seen again. Efforts to confirm sightings were fruitless. More disturbing was the realization that the family could not supply even a single photograph of their daughter. Time passed. The photograph from the Kmart shoot became the only known image of Kaylee Houston. And now, I ask for your help. You see, I have them all. All of the others. I just need that last photograph. When I get it, she'll vanish without a trace. The person writing this account, their words growing erratic, their intentions unsettling, desperately pleads for help. It's not just a plea. It's a warning, veiled in madness. They claim to possess the other photographs from Kaylee's lost Kmart shoot, though no one can confirm how they found them. Each photograph is described with eerie reverence. Kaylee laughing in a denim jacket, her head tilted. Kaylee sitting cross-legged on a picnic blanket, her face shadowed by the sun. Kaylee staring directly into the camera, her eyes strangely intense. But these descriptions, if they are real at all, are more detailed than the grainy catalog photo everyone has seen. The writer insists they only need one final image, the last photograph, the one missing from their collection. They ramble about how they have searched everywhere, old Kmart storage sites, Tori Michelle's archives, even scouring personal belongings stolen from homes and offices connected to Kaylee's modeling days. Their obsession radiates from the screen like a palpable weight. I have them all but that one. It's the only thing keeping her tethered. That last photograph, that glossy image in some forgotten file hidden in the dark. It's the key. Without it, I can't finish this. Without it, Kaylee will never be free. Free? Or gone? The writer's logic twists and turns, like a snake devouring itself. They claim they found Kaylee, though they refuse to elaborate. They speak of vanishing her completely, of unmaking her existence. They write about little fingers reaching through the cracks, echoing the haunting phrase Kaylee once heard on the phone. And then comes the most chilling line. When I have the last photograph, I won't just erase her. She'll never have existed at all. The post ends abruptly, without a signature or contact information. Just a final, desperate plea. Help me find it. I'm so close. You can't keep her from me. The last photograph belongs to me. Who wrote this? Was it Kaylee's family? A private investigator? Or someone much darker? The tone shifts from sorrowful and determined to unhinged and possessive, leaving readers disturbed, uncertain if they've stumbled upon a cry for help or a confession to something far worse. As Kmart's liquidation continues, questions rise. Are there truly other photos from Kaylee's shoot out there? Could someone, somewhere, stumble across them in an old file cabinet or a thrift store bin? And if they do, what happens next? If this writer's account is even partially true, the story isn't over. Somewhere, in some dusty, forgotten storage box, lies the last photograph of Kaylee Houston. And maybe, just maybe, Kaylee herself.